The best Lakers news this summer came last night, with Boston losing. There are more evidence that the Rams and Chargers are basically becoming mirror images of each other. And LA is one of the top venues for the 2026 World Cup. But where exactly does the City of Angels fit in? Hi there, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. Today marks our 4-month anniversary. Thank you for all of those who decided to tag along for the ride while we talk LA sports. If you like the content that we've been putting out, feel free to clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. We try to put out new videos every day. We have, actually. They come out usually between 9 and 10 a.m. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, comment. Because it's lonely in a basement. I'm here to tell you. Now, before we get to the main topic of the World Cup and what this means for Los Angeles and maybe MLS, let's get to the scores and notes. There were no games involving LA teams yesterday. If the Dodgers take the field again tonight, they'll be playing the Cleveland Guardians for the first time. Clayton Kershaw is 4-1. Zach Plesac takes the mound for Cleveland. He is 2-4. Really need to get this out of my system. There is a Lakers blogger. Don't want to name him. Don't even remember the name of the blog. But yesterday he posted that, if the Celtics win the title, it would be a blessing for the Lakers. To which I say, go to rehab. Stop it. This is like the guys who are trying to tell you on Facebook that gas prices aren't being affected by things like drilling and the Keystone Pipeline and all. Stop it. It's all affected. It's not just Putin. It's everything else. I'm not trying to go political on you. I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for, but stop it. Gas prices are nuts. You can't spin that. Inflation sucks. You can't spin that. And the Boston Celtics winning anything would suck. It would never be a win for the Lakers. Stop trying to spin it. That felt cathartic. By the way, I was looking ahead to the Major League Baseball draft. The Dodgers, did you know they don't even have a first-round pick in the upcoming MLB draft? Yeah, I was trying to look up some mock drafts to see who the Dodgers might be interested in. Their first-round draft spot was moved back 10 spots on purpose as punishment for having a payroll of $284 million. They also don't even have a second-round pick. There's a compensatory pick between the first and the second at pick 40, but they don't even have a second-round pick because they signed Freddie Freeman. Craziness. Punished for trying to win. That's Major League Baseball for you. Some notes on the Rams and Chargers. Pro Football Focus, you may have heard of them. When you watch NBC football on Sunday night and they give the starting lineups, they always at the bottom of the screen when the players introduce themselves, they say so-and-so is ranked here by Pro Football Focus. Well, they also do it by groups. The Rams offensive line is ranked 11th. Now, they also call Joe Noteboom one of the league's most underrated offensive linemen in football. But having said that, they dropped the Rams a few spots because even no matter how good Noteboom is, you can't act like losing Andrew Wentworth has no impact. Of course it does. Having said that, the Rams offensive line is the best in the NFC West, according to these guys. Now, why are the Rams mirror images of the Chargers? Because the Chargers are number 12. In other words, they're building the same type of team. The jersey may be slightly different shade of blue, but it's the same type of team. They also rank the Bolts with the 7th best defensive line. They could be. I'm saying that's a little bit premature because they haven't even played a game yet. So we don't necessarily know. The names are top notch. We just don't necessarily know how they're all going to be in the same game. Side note for the Rams, by the way, you might remember a couple of days ago, some blogger went nuts over Chicharito putting his mansion on up for sale. Oh my God, Chicharito might be leaving the Galaxy. Well, here's a side note. Matthew Stafford sold his LA area mansion. Oh my God, he's leaving the Rams. Idiots. I hate calling people I've never met idiots, but come on. Those are idiotic takes, okay? You're in the most expensive plot of real estate in the world. People buy and sell that stuff for profit. You don't buy that house because you're going to stay there forever. The LA Kings, by the way, they have signed a contract extension for defenseman Jacob Movier. It'll be worth about $1.5 million. This is his opening, and you're going to see this, I believe, a lot with some of the younger Kings that are coming up through the system. They need to pick and choose who's going to stay. So they are signing them to these contracts for only a couple of years for a little bit amount of money, and basically saying the job is yours, but you got to go earn it because we have people in the minor leagues who can come up at any time. What do you say we get to the main topic? The 2026 World Cup, the FIFA has announced where it's going. They mentioned a bunch of cities, 11 in the United States, 3 in Mexico, 2 in Canada. They are expanding to 48 teams. It's an addition of 16 nations. This is going to be the first 3-nation World Cup in history. Now, the last time we hosted it, the United States, was in 1994 when Brazil won. And I've been asking myself, we'll approach this question, touch on it in a little bit. I've been asking myself why Canada and Mexico were included. See, I realize Mexico loves soccer. But if there's one thing the United States has proven is that they can host the World Cup on their own and make it a success. In 1994, the World Cup drew 3.6 million people. It was by far the most popular World Cup. Decades later, more people came to the United States to see soccer, and more Americans came out to see soccer than in any World Cup since. So I don't know the answer to this question that I'm about to pose to you. If you recall World Cup 1994, the United States, they shouldn't have hosted it. FIFA had always had a standard. You had to have a soccer league in order to host the World Cup. The World Cup came, and 2 years later came Major League Soccer. So I'm sitting there wondering to myself, what does this mean if you have all 3 countries coming together at once to host a World Cup when the U.S. could do it on its own? What are the implications for Canada? What are the implications for Mexico? What are the implications for MLS? Right? Because there, every so often you'll hear about a potential merger between MLS and Liga MX. You'll hear that there's a tournament between the 2 leagues that could start as soon as next year, a World Cup style tournament, maybe as a precursor to a merger. No idea. But I'm telling you, I feel like there's something coming down the pipe with that we don't necessarily know about. There are writers, by the way, who are saying that because the Rose Bowl hosted both a men's and women's final, that SoFi Stadium, which will host World Cup games in 2026, that SoFi Stadium is out of the running to host the final. And I'm going to call BS on that. If anything, I think LA is definitely one of the front runners. So I'm going to build a case for LA, knock it down a little bit, and also talk about some of the other cities that are in the running. Okay, LA is most definitely not out of the running. Now, Dallas, Texas wants the finals as well. They want to play in our AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. I don't see it. I know Jerry Jones, if they get it, they're going to have to cut a fat check to a lot of corrupt FIFA officials. And I know this because I used to live in Dallas for a while. The stadium is large. It's larger than life, I would even say. It's also not photogenic. And Texas is humid as hell. That stadium looks like a giant concrete wart. And it's not easy to reach. It is not in Dallas. It is not in Fort Worth. It is 30 to 35 miles away from both of those cities. And there's not public transportation that'll take you out there. So I don't think Dallas is a front runner at all. New York, or technically Newark, New Jersey, possible. But I don't think so. And here's why. Keep in mind, image matters on TV. There is a valid reason that only one Super Bowl has been held in New York or / New Jersey. It's not a fun place to be. In addition to that, getting to Newark sucks. I've been there too. The airport is terrible. The New Jersey Transit, if you go to see the World Cup finals, you're spending time in New York first. And then you get on the New Jersey Transit, and then you're still walking to try to get out, or Ubering to try to get out to that stadium. So no, I don't see it. If anything, I think the main competitor for Los Angeles is Mexico City. Azteca has already hosted 2 World Cup finals. It's an iconic structure. It's an iconic stadium to the sport of soccer. So, yeah, I would wager that Mexico City is a possibility. Meanwhile, you got SoFi Stadium. And SoFi Stadium checks a lot of boxes except for 1 or 2. SoFi looks amazing on TV, both inside and out. It also has since it's such a young stadium, it also has these crazy, lavish amenities that corrupt FIFA officials are going to love. They love being pampered, man. They're corrupt. The problem, however, that SoFi has is that the field is too narrow. Now, there are officials who are saying this is not really a problem. It can be removed by moving some of the seats that are in the corners of the stadium. You know, SoFi, the stadium is actually, it's not like a straight rectangle. It's curved. They're saying you remove some of the corners, everything will be fine. I'm not necessarily sure that's going to be the case. But I would also say another reason that I would rank LA over Mexico City. Mexico City is over a mile high, which makes it difficult to breathe. And also in LA, unlike, say, Dallas and New York, it's a dry heat. You actually do want to see competitive, comfortable soccer. So it's not a slam dunk, but it's LA's to lose, in my opinion. It's LA's to lose. Now, having said all of that, I make no predictions about LA. I think their odds are very good. What I am curious is, for all the soccer fans out there, what does this World Cup mean for the future of MLS? Or Liga MX? Or Canada? Is this the precursor of a unification of these leagues? Is it basically a way to try to grow the sport more in Canada? Because again, the United States could have hosted this tournament all on its own and been very successful. Think of the cities that did not get to include themselves in the World Cup. Nashville, Orlando, all with major stadiums, all that love soccer. There's other ones. Washington, D.C. got left off the list. So you tell me what you think. I'm open to hear some rumors tonight about soccer. Now, if you enjoyed this broadcast, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something here for covering LA sports. I'm James. Thank you for watching. Faithful Angelenos is a Can Corte El Queso production. Have a great day.